it going, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Madison Hill, and yes, it's time for another Pop Off with Madison. For today's Pop Off, I'm going to be breaking down all of the Don't Worry Darling drama because, you guys, there is so much freaking tea here, and honestly, it's too good for us to not break down here in the House of Hill. So, well, I know most of you know this. For those of you who don't, there is a new movie coming out that's called Don't Worry Darling. It's directed by Olivia Wilde. It stars Harry Styles and Florence Pugh, along with Gemma Chan, Chris Pine, and Nick Kroll. And essentially, you guys, there's just been so much drama surrounding this movie ever since it started filming until now, mainly with Olivia Wilde, Harry Styles, and Florence Pugh. And essentially, a lot of this drama came to a head when the movie recently premiered at the Venice Film Festival. So what I want to do in this video is break down all of the Don't Worry Darling drama for those of you who haven't been keeping up since the beginning. Because if you haven't been keeping up since the beginning, it can be very overwhelming. So essentially, if you are a little lost on what's going on, then this video is perfect for you. I'm gonna give you the gist and the highlights, the cliff notes of all of the Don't Worry Darling drama. That way you don't have to spend your time reading 87 different articles to try to catch up. But before we get into all of this tea and this drama, you know, I have to check in and see how the House of Hill is doing because this is the first pop-up of the week. So let me know how you are, what you've been up to, all of that good stuff down below. To be completely honest with you guys, since the end of last week, I have been incredibly stressed. My family has been incredibly stressed. Mama Hill had to make an unplanned trip to New Mexico because sadly my grandma is in the hospital. She is starting to get better, which is very, very, very good news. But you know, whenever health things happen with you or your family, it definitely takes a very huge and stressful toll. And I know I usually like to keep things light and positive on here. And I know we do talk about our anxiety and all of those things, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I have not really felt like showing up online the past, 5-6 days. I've been doing my best to try to have fun. If you follow me on Instagram, you know, my sister and I have definitely been soaking up some time at the pool because my mom being my mom, she wants to make sure we're distracted and still trying to enjoy ourselves. That's why she's literally an angel of a human being. But yeah, we're working through it and I know that we will get through it. And I'm sorry to kind of bring this down on a heavy note, but I just wanted to be honest with you guys. I couldn't sit here and be like, everything's great, I had a great Labor Day weekend, when like real things are happening in my life and I feel like I can't keep those things from you guys. So just wanted to kind of let you know where I've been the past couple of days. But enough about me. We're gonna get into this tea because honestly, nothing is a better distraction from real things going on in your life than some really good juicy celebrity tea. So you straight to the tea people, go ahead and drop this time code down there in the comments to help out your fellow straight to the tea people. And now let's get into unwrapping these Don't Worry Darling drama facts. Okay, so real quick, for those of you who don't know, Don't Worry Darling stars Harry Styles as Jack. He's the male lead. Florence Pugh as the female lead. Her name is Alice. The film also stars Chris Pine, Gemma Chan, who I absolutely love, and Nick Kroll. And obviously it's directed by Olivia Wilde. This is the second film that she's directed, her first one being Booksmart. And it's essentially this kind of 1950s science fiction film, kind of a Stepford Wives take. What I mean by that is, the men go to work, the women don't really know what the men do for work, but they're the breadwinners, they're supposed to stay at home. And then of course, Alice, aka Florence Pugh, kind of starts to question their existence. What's the point of all this? I also think there's like a little culty aspect. Regardless, you get the picture. That's what the movie is basically about. But now let's get into the reason why you clicked on this video, and that is a full drama breakdown. So obviously, to start this breakdown from the beginning, we have to go to when the drama started, and that would be during filming. So during filming, news broke that Olivia Wilde ended her relationship with Jason Sudeikis. This shocked everyone because the two were together for quite some time. They were engaged for 7 years, they had children together, and people really loved them together. So when the breakup happened, it was really upsetting for a lot of people. Then a few months later, we get this photo, and this photo is of Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde clearly holding hands as Harry Styles took her as his date to his manager's wedding. And this photo kind of confirmed a rumor that was already out there, that Olivia Wilde and her relationship with Jason Sudeikis ended because she cheated on him with Harry Styles. Again, that was a rumor that people felt was confirmed once we saw, okay, Olivia and Harry are definitely hooking up and they're definitely dating. Now, aside from just that photo kind of confirming for people that Olivia Wilde may or may not have been faithful to Jason Sudeikis while she was filming this movie, that was also kind of confirmed again when he served her with custody agreements while she was speaking on a panel about Don't Worry Darling. He did this quite publicly, and although he claims he didn't mean to do it publicly, just the sheer act of him doing this, people were kind of like, okay, Jason Sudeikis clearly has a reason why he's trying to get back at Olivia Wilde. Of course, Olivia Wilde has talked about this moment. She has not said it was because Jason Jason was trying to get back at her, although she did talk poorly about it, and she definitely has talked ish on his decision to serve her during that time. Okay, now real quick, I want to take a second to pause and also let you guys know that prior to Olivia and Harry going public with their relationship, multiple tips were sent into Dumois that stated that Florence and Harry Styles were hooking up a little bit when he first signed onto the film. It was nothing serious, just two co-stars, you know, getting acquainted with one another. But then, you know, clearly Harry Styles decided to go ahead and pursue Olivia, which Olivia was very happy about. But this is allegedly where a lot of that tension between Florence and Olivia started. Number one, Florence Pugh is reportedly really good friends with Jason Sudeikis, so obviously she's not going to be happy with the fact that her director, who is supposed to be with Jason Sudeikis, may or may not be hooking up with the male lead of the film. And also apparently Florence Pugh was not a big fan of Olivia's behavior on set. She was reportedly very unprofessional when it came to working with Harry Styles, which that irritated Florence Pugh because, you know, she's a serious actor. She's going there to do a job. Again, a lot of that is based on speculation and rumors, but regardless, it was enough for the internet to decide, okay, there is a full-fledged feud going on here between Olivia Wilde and Florence Pugh. And let me just tell you that feud fire continued to grow. So after filming wrapped, we got a teaser, and now promoting the film starts. And people start to notice that on Florence Pugh's Instagram, she is not promoting Don't Worry Darling like she has her previous projects. She also is not interacting with any of Olivia Wilde's posts about her or about the movie. So Florence Pugh is basically acting like this movie does not exist on social media, aside from posting the one trailer, and her caption was very short. And then Florence Pugh goes and does an interview with Harper's Bazaar, you guys, and she makes it clear that she is not happy with the trailer, and she is not happy that the movie is essentially being dwindled down to the sex scenes between her and Harry Styles, specifically a scene where Harry Styles goes down on Florence Pugh. If you look at the first teaser, that's pretty much all the first teaser was. So Florence Pugh was not happy about this at all, and she did not hold back. When she was speaking to Harper's Bazaar about this, she said, quote, "When it's reduced to your sex scenes or to watch the most famous man in the world go down on someone, it's not why we do it. It's not why I'm in this industry. Obviously, the nature of hiring the most famous pop star in the world, you're gonna have conversations like that. That's just not what I'm gonna be discussing, because this movie is bigger and better than that, and the people who made it are bigger and better than that." So everyone heard that and was just kind of like, yep, confirmation that Olivia and Florence don't see eye to eye. And that confirmation once again happened when Olivia Wilde did an interview with Variety and essentially reinforced why she is so pro those sex scenes and putting those in the trailer. While speaking to Variety, Olivia essentially said that having those scenes in there is kind of more of a feminist move, because a lot of the times when you see heterosexual relationships on the big screen, it's all about male pleasure and rarely about female pleasure. She also went on to say that she thinks the scene is, quote, "integral to the story itself and how the audience is meant to connect to them," aka Harry Styles and Florence Pugh, aka Jack and Alice. Now, speaking of this interview that Olivia did with Variety, this is also where she addressed firing Shia LaBeouf. Now, for those of you who are like, how the F does Shia LaBeouf fit into all of this? Well, he was originally supposed to play Harry Styles' character Jack. However, at the time, a lot of allegations came out against him from his ex FKA Twigs, some really, really bad stuff. Now, Olivia Wilde talked about Shia LaBeouf getting taken off the movie during this Variety interview, and she made it sound like she is the one who fired Shia LaBeouf. She said that he had a very combative energy that didn't work with the ethos that she likes on her sets, and how she wanted to make sure that everyone was comfortable, especially, you know, her female lead Florence Pugh. And then literally one day later, you guys, Shia LaBeouf basically came forward and said, "Hey, Olivia Wilde, you are a big fat liar and I have the receipts to prove it." Shia LaBeouf and his team sent in a letter to Variety, basically going against everything that Olivia said. Shia LaBeouf had emails, text messages, and an explosive video all showing that he chose to walk away from the film because of lack of rehearsal time, and Olivia Wilde, in fact, continued to beg him to stay on the project, even though she knew about the allegations made against him from FKA Twigs. Now, this is where that whole Miss Flo thing comes into play. I know you guys have seen this on social media. That came into play from a video that Olivia Wilde sent to Shia LaBeouf personally. She sent him this video in a text message. In the video, she starts it off going, "Shia, Shia, Shia." You've probably seen that too. And essentially, she's just begging him to stay on the project. She says she's not ready to give up on it yet, and that while she understands Miss Flo's concerns, aka Florence Pugh, you know, she's hoping that Florence Pugh can kind of work through whatever she has against Shia LaBeouf, and that they can continue to make this film together. So basically what you need to know is, thanks to that one video, Olivia Wilde's whole women empowerment brand came absolutely crashing down. And then we go ahead and fast forward to what happened recently at the Venice Film Festival. So prior to the film's premiere at the Venice Film Festival, you guys, there's a press conference, and Miss Flo is not present. So the press is obviously coming to the conclusions that Florence Pugh is not even going to show up to this film premiere because she hates Olivia Wilde. that much. So therefore, of course, Olivia Wilde takes the time during this press conference prior to the premiere to make it clear that Florence Pugh is not there for the press conference because she's in Budapest filming for Dune 2, and that she will make it for the premiere. And then specifically in regards to rumors of their feud, during this press conference, Olivia Wilde said, quote, "As for all the endless tabloid gossip and all the noise out there, I mean, the internet feeds itself. I don't feel the need to contribute. I think it's sufficiently well nourished." So really, she didn't answer the question at all. She basically just blamed the internet for continuing to make up rumors about her and Florence. Anyway, you guys, then the premiere happens. Florence Pugh shows up looking so freaking fabulous. Her stylist captions her own Instagram calling her Miss Flo, which is just feeding those feud rumors. People are living for it. They're like, yes, Florence Pugh is pissed at Olivia for calling her that, and she is showing up to the carpet looking absolutely amazing. She brought her grandma. I mean, how can you talk ish on anyone who brings their grandma? And she literally does not even glance Olivia Wilde's way. She does not give Olivia Wilde the time of day at all. They do a cast photo. Harry Styles doesn't want to be near Olivia Wilde. According to someone who wrote into Dumois, a photographer actually tried to grab Harry by the hand and put him next to Olivia, and he was like, no, he didn't want to be a part of it. Rumor is that their relationship is definitely on thin ice ever since that Shia LaBeouf video came out, because, you know, he's obviously pissed. His girlfriend, who he thought fought for him to have this movie and believed in him to be the main actor in this movie, only did that after she begged somebody else to have that part. So I definitely see that Harry and Olivia are on thin ice after this whole situation. And then, of course, obviously Florence didn't want to be near Olivia at all for this cast photo. Then we go into the screening room. That's where the whole "did Harry Styles spit on Chris Pine" situation happened. Remember, Chris Pine's people came out and said, no, Harry Styles didn't spit. They get a 4-minute standing ovation, and during the standing ovation, Florence Pugh is not acknowledging Olivia Wilde at all. She's just reacting to the audience. She's talking to Nick Kroll. Also, this is where Harry Styles kissed Nick Kroll. Moral of the story here is that Florence Pugh was just not even acknowledging Olivia Wilde at all. She actually left 3 minutes into the standing ovation, which a lot of people gave her a hard time for. People were saying that she was being petty and unprofessional. But if you look at her Instagram that she posted after the carpet, she talked about her look and all of the work that went into her look. And she said those are the people who deserve the standing ovation, not her. So personally, I don't fault Florence Pugh for leaving the standing ovation a minute early. Also, if you look at the video, she was clearly touched. She was clearly really happy. I personally just think she left because she was uncomfortable. But clearly, I have so many more thoughts about this. And you guys, I'm sorry. I know that was a lot of information, but a lot has been happening, and I wanted you to kind of know all of the important details. So I promise you, I will try to keep this pop-off short, but let's go ahead and make it official and get to the shambong. Okay, guys, so I can't lie. Unfortunately, and I really hate that I feel this way, but all of this "Don't Worry, Darling" drama has really made me think differently of Olivia Wilde. You know, I loved her first film that she directed, Booksmart. I loved hearing about the positive changes that she was trying to bring to movie sets, especially for women. But seeing her do that interview with Variety where she straight up said, I fired Shia LaBeouf because he had combative energy and I wanted to make sure my cast and crew felt comfortable, and then the next day it comes out that no, she did not in fact fire him. In fact, she begged him to stay on the project, all while knowing those allegations against him, and basically telling the female lead, hey, I know that this guy has some serious allegations against him that would definitely make any woman uncomfortable, but I'm gonna need Miss Flo to suck it up and work through it. Like, what in the absolute F is going on? And how is that okay at all? And you know what? Say what you will about Shia LaBeouf, and I'm not a fan of him, and I'm not condoning any of his behavior, but I do have to at least applaud him for standing up for himself, for sending Variety those receipts and sending that letter and being like, you know what? I'm sober now. I'm a father now. What I did with FKA Twigs, we're going to talk about that in the court of law, but this is the court of public opinion. And Olivia Wilde, you are straight up wrong. I have the receipts to prove it. And as far as Florence Pugh is concerned, you guys, I can totally understand why she wants nothing to do with Olivia Wilde. Not only did this woman allegedly cheat on somebody she's friends with, then she was on set being unprofessional, making everyone feel uncomfortable. Then on top of that, to find out that your director was talking ish about you behind your back and begging the male lead to stay on the project who made you feel uncomfortable. Like, why would Florence Pugh ever want to give Olivia Wilde the time of day? That sounds like an incredibly toxic work environment, and as someone who has been in an incredibly toxic work environment, I can 1000% understand why Florence Pugh does not want to do any press for this movie, does not want to be in the same room as Olivia Wilde. You know what? She showed up to the premiere, she did what she had to do, she looked fabulous, she took the cast photo, She sat through the screening. She stood through the standing ovation. I personally don't think it was unprofessional for her at all to not acknowledge Olivia Wilde. I would have done the exact same thing. I think this movie, unfortunately, is going to hurt Olivia's reputation. And you know what? I don't really feel all that bad about it. People who I do feel bad for in this situation are the other actors in this film. There are some very talented actors in this film. Those are the people I feel for because their performances are being outshined and overshadowed by all of this silly drama that essentially started with Olivia Wilde. And while yes, all of this drama does drum up hype for the film, which I know some of you are going to go there, you're going to say, Madison, this is just PR. This is the plan all along. I get what you're saying because at the end of the day, people going to pay to see this movie does bring in money, which of course is always a good thing for studios and executives, but people aren't going to see this movie for the right reasons, which I think actually hurts Olivia Wilde, her career, and her reputation. People aren't going to see this movie because they've heard about how amazing it is. People are going to see it because they want to see the final product after the entire shit show that happened behind the scenes. And truth be told, based on the reviews that I'm already hearing, the actors did a fantastic job and people are absolutely dragging Olivia Wilde. Again, I still think people are going to go see it. I personally am probably still going to go see it. I love a take on the Stepford Wives with Nicole Kidman, one of my favorite movies. I'm probably still going to go see it because I'm one of those people who's like, I want to see the final product of the shit show. But again, I don't necessarily think that that's a good thing when this was supposed to be one of the best movies of the year. It's such a highly anticipated film. And as far as the future, you guys, I'm sorry, I know I said I would keep this quick, but I just can't stop talking. I do think that Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde's days are numbered. I think their relationship is on thin ice. I think that Florence Pugh is going to come out of this thing better than ever. I think Olivia Wilde's reputation and career is definitely going to take a hit from this. And as far as the other actors in the film, I am sure they cannot wait for this mess to be over, and I feel for them. Okay, you guys, I'm officially forcing myself to stop talking. I'm sorry that this video was so long. Let me know your thoughts and feels about all of this Don't Worry Darling drama down below. While you guys are at it, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't forget that notification bell. For more content, make sure you follow me over on Instagram and TikTok. And of course, don't forget to keep coming back to my channel to check out my YouTube shorts. If you guys want to show me a little extra love or you want to make sure I see your comment and say hi, you can also hit that super thanks button down below. You guys can also check out all of my merch over at my merch store at houseofhill.com. And on that note, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!